women want to be loved.
In what way, though?
Deeply. Like, supported, not problem solved. Like, sometimes I just call my partner and I'm like, or he calls me and I was like, I was crying. Sorry, I'm busy crying. And it's like, what's going on, right? And then we have a conversation that's, why are you crying right now? So it's very hard for me to know what men need to know about women. But I think everybody wants to connect and be seen and be loved for who they are.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Hall Pass show, where you get a hall pass to talk about some of the uncomfortable conversations that most people avoid. Today's guest, we have Katheline. I don't want to mess that up. Katheline Pierre, who's an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, and someone who makes her own lane in today's world. Today, I'm going to pick her brain a little bit about masculinity, femininity, and how we can work together instead against each other. So, Katheline, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you for being here. I love the hair, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
The hair, the suit, the shoes. Can we get her shoes in the shot? Shoes in the shot.
We call them the $1 million shoes.
Is it really?
I wear them. It's a long story, but when I worked at Google for 10 years, before doing a big pitch, I would wear very high heels. And at some point I was in an all hands and I said, I wore my $1 million shoes to go pitch $11 million. And then that stuck with the people and it stuck with me. And it was more like an inspirational amulet.
Does it work for you?
It works.
That's all that matters. Well, welcome to the show. Before we get started, tell me a little about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Katheline Pierre, as you said. So you hear the name, it's very French, Haitian.
Very French.
Very French.
Jean-Pierre.
Jean-Pierre.
But yeah. Pierre.
So I'm a former Fortune 100 executive, worked for 10 years and a half at Google, then LinkedIn as a managing director, Deloitte, Yahoo. And what I do now is I'm a career capital creator for executives that were the best kept secret, who are now ready to capitalize on their secrets and their talent, but to really build a monetizable brand. So what it means is that people who are unknown want to get known and be known and make money out of it with AI and LinkedIn. So that's what I do.
Wow, you sound like a boss lady. Jesus.
I think it's more like I had my own awakening because I spent 20 years in corporate and all those big logos, heads down, managing portfolios of $1 billion plus. And then I when I joined LinkedIn in 2022, I was advising all the chief marketing officers and presidents and CEOs who were like, I need to build my brand. I need to build a community. And that obsession translated to me. And I was like, they asked me, are you doing it for yourself? And I was like, no, but I should.
Okay.
And I'm talking about people who spend $30,000 a month to hire people to help them elevate their voice. And then from 2022 to now, I've been obsessed with understanding the dynamics of building brand authority for executives. So I did it for myself and I went from almost 0 to 115,000 followers across my podcast, across LinkedIn, etc. So, and now I see it's urgent and important because AI is coming. I mean, AI is here. We're in the AI economy and you can't be sleeping on your brand.
I'm kind of sleeping with AI and I need to wake up because there's so many things that I don't know about AI.
Yeah.
But a lot of people kind of feel the same as me. They're scared. Is there a thing you can say to some people to kind of get them out of that mindset, especially me, because I'm like, AI, Terminator, they're going to take over.
I think how I see life, right, as a woman, a Black woman, a Caribbean woman, French Canadian, and to be successful, you have to leverage anything, what scares you, and transmute it into something that's going to elevate you. So I think for AI, what I start with is a couple of hours a week. That's how I started. And just to be able to build the tools to make me more productive and remove all the tasks that I don't like. For example, for my company, I hate doing profit and loss. I know I'm going to procrastinate about it. Now I go into Claude Claude and Claude Cowork, and I throw all my numbers, all my receipts, and it organizes it.
Oh, wow.
So I use AI also as a thinking partner. I use Perplexity and then Claude to think about, okay, this is where my business is at. Like, how do I 10x it in a year? And then it comes up with scenarios, and I'm like, wait, that's a bit too aggressive. So it's a conversation back and forth, and then I sit with it and I decide I'm not going to do what AI wants me to do, but I leverage it. And then for you, as you're a podcast host and a businessman, you can tap into it to figure out what are all the different things you could do with your platform, with your amazing history and experience, and then how can you automate some of that so it doesn't become more work for you?
Oh, wow. So do you feel like AI is going to take a lot of people out of work?
I think it's going to take people out of work who haven't been able to leverage it for themselves.
And that's for the people that aren't thinking, like opening their brain, like you said earlier.
Yeah, and that's why there's an urgency right now, because there's been, last year it was 1.1 million people were laid off, and the government
Oh,
and
wow.
tech, different companies, Oracle, Box, etc., Square. So it's very heartening, and Meta has made some announcements as well. Salesforce. So there's a lot of companies that are laying people off. So I think if I was a corporate worker today, I would jump on the bandwagon of understanding AI, educating yourself, and then figuring out, is there a business that you can launch with it? How do you create career optionality? Because people come to me when it's almost too late. I like when executives already have a business or in their stock, or if they already have a brand. Now what happens is if they haven't, like, brilliant, I work with brilliant people. Like, I work with chief AI officers, I work with COOs, CFOs who have zero brand. As soon as they get laid off by a big corporation, they're in the void for a year. So what I do is we figure out a plan to first update their brand identity and shift their identity, because sometimes people can be down. So listen, this is the right moment to transmute into your best self. And this is how you're going to crawl, walk, and run into your brand.
Wow.
So my urgent call is for people to get started now and not wait further. And the more you get started, you realize that there's 5% of the people who know what to do with some of the thinking, the tools. And then there's 95% who are lurking and trying to figure it out or not doing anything. So I would say do not procrastinate.
Exactly. And with where you are right now, especially as a strong, independent Black woman, do you feel like you're overstepping on certain people? Like, I know a lot of men will look at this and be like, who this lady thinks she is, or you're in a place of power. How do you feel certain men measure up to that?
I mean, I can't optimize my life for every man in the planet. I think the man that I care about, I care about my son and what he cares about me, and I care about my partner. So those are the two that I mostly care about, and then different people I do business with. I think as a human, as a woman, but as a human, you have to find your own power.
Right.
And then something that nobody can take away from you. And when I left LinkedIn in 2025, a year ago, I decided that I didn't care what people thought of me. And I stepped into my power and I did what I wanted to do. Because I don't want to live for other people's opinion.
Man, can we clip that? That was awesome. I love that, because I often say we have the courage to be you should have the courage to be disliked, because when you start to live vicariously through someone's opinion, their opinion becomes your reality. So I definitely agree on that. Do you find any challenges that are happening stepping into your field where, other people are, whether it's envious of that because of where you are and how you've gotten there? And I love what you say, but are you in that environment?
So, I mean, to be where I am today, I had to do the walk of fire. And in corporate, it was extremely hard. As a Black woman, as somebody who's extremely ambitious, people would follow a playbook. Me, I would have my own playbook. And there's something we say in Creole is, I'm walking on my own beat. So I always walked on my own beat. When people said it's not possible to generate X dollars, when I was at Google, I always found a way. And when I found a way, I codified the way, I created the playbooks, and then I shared it with the whole team. That's how I got ahead. I got ahead because I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to your tips and tricks, but then I do my own thing and I crack the code and then I elevate the team. And that's helped me accelerate my career and go from different roles. So I was a product manager when I was at Yahoo and Flickr. I was in consulting at Deloitte doing innovation. I did also, I worked at Google as a sales leader and a head of sales. And I went through multiple roles and iterations. And then I worked at LinkedIn for 3 years as a managing director for financial services and ventures. So all of those roles, there were a lot of scrutiny, a lot of hypervigilance. I think a lot of people who challenge you are going to say, oh, she didn't drive the results, but it's her team that drove the result. So you just have to learn. What I've learned is to be, to own my power.
Yeah, own who you are. Yep.
Exactly. And communicate. So I'm not a UFC fighter, but it's
Some
similar
women
in
out there that
corporate.
could fight, though. Yeah.
I watch it and I'm like, I cannot do this. I don't want to do this. But it's the same. It's like in the biggest battle that we have is the battle of our mind.
Right.
And like now I decided I cannot live for other people.
You're absolutely right.
Because like who are those people? Who's the invisible audience that we're all optimizing for?
Wow. Who's the invisible audience? I like that. Do you feel in a sense you can still keep that femininity
Oh yeah.
in that workplace, of that position you're in?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, of course I have masculine energy to have to wake up and create those deals and close the deals. And then my feminine energy, so for my partner, I'm like, I'm not cooking tonight. Figure out what we're doing.
So when you come home and the shoes is off, then you go back into your femininity.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not, and I am very straight, right? I'm like, I'm not cooking tonight.
Okay. So it's more for work when you go out there in your work field. You have to be that type of masculine personality around those people.
Yeah.
And do you feel like that environment influenced that to bring it out? Or is it because of the work ethic?
I mean, I feel like, I'm Canadian and I moved here 14 years ago to California. And I think there's a lot of ambition, there's a lot of drive. So you have to circulate, you have to create opportunities for yourself, right? It's the American dream, however they want to call it. But you have to create those opportunities and you have to believe that it's possible. And then you have to take all the actions to make it happen. So I don't know how people call it, but if it's masculine energy, I have to be a deal maker. I can't be passive.
Right.
As one of my sales leaders said at some point, hope is not a strategy. So you have to, yes, you can manifest, but you also have to build a plan and then you have to act on the plan, make things happen.
Nice. So what do you think real masculinity look like these days?
For a man?
Yeah.
I'm going to take the example of Bad Bunny because
Oh, Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Okay, Bad Bunny.
I'm a big fan, and it's not like he's a businessman and he's a music man.
Yeah.
I think for me, what I like is real masculinity is being a go-getter.
Okay.
And because he went and he negotiated a contract where he's keeping most of the rights, which means that he's able to make more money compounding over time.
So he's a businessman.
Yeah, he's a businessman.
Okay.
So he's a deal maker. So he has this energy, this masculine energy of setting the rules of the agreement. That's number one. Secondly, he just disregarded all the rules and everything that people said was impossible. Or you're not going to be able to make it in Spanish, or you're not going to be able to make it from Puerto Rico. So for me, it's an example of standing your ground and standing firm in your belief and going for it. I think thirdly, when we talk about masculinity, there's fashion and style as well. So the traditional masculine man versus now, I think he's a beautiful modern version of masculinity where he embraces a lot of feminine aspects in fashion, right?
What do you mean?
So sometimes Bad Bunny has hair bands. Sometimes he has nail polish. I don't know if you realize.
I mean, I've seen him. I've seen him, and I have to watch him when I'm with my Hispanic buddies. But I've seen him, and I've seen him perform. I think he's great, but I don't know too much of him.
So sometimes he would wear skirts, etc. So and then nobody doubts his masculinity.
So you think masculinity is something that can dab into the femininity side to wear like the skirts and stuff like that?
The modern masculinity, yes. You're so secure in yourself that you're able to cross and you're not standing in a very stiff genre role.
That's interesting.
So I think he's a little bit the example of that.
To kind of go both ways.
Yeah, in fashion. I'm talking about fashion.
Oh.
I'm talking about fashion. I'm not talking about other things. Yeah.
Listen, I wasn't even thinking. I was thinking more of like, I don't even know what I was thinking, but you're pretty much talking about fashion.
I'm talking only about fashion.
Do you feel like that influenced men to kind of be like, well, I can do both in that sense, though?
I think so. They don't have to go to the extreme of having nail polish.
Right.
So what I've seen when I was 18 years old, I went to Europe, and then I realized back in the days, European men like are comfortable wearing Speedos. They're comfortable wearing tight pants. And like, why their pants are so tight? Tight pants and tight shirts. And I was exposed to that at 18 years old. And for me, it was like, okay, that's how it is. And if you go to Brazil and etc. So there's a different like aesthetics in fashion and like body comfort in expressing yourself. That's not necessarily a two-piece suit or the American jeans. So I think that's where, in terms of everything that's self-expression and fashion, I think that's a bit more modern because I feel like the United States has evolved a lot, where there's more of embracing from other types of fashions around the world. And then another component that's the most important component to me is, I mean, two more. One is being a provider, having a provider mindset. And having a provider mindset is not necessarily being rich, is whatever resources that you have as a man, you want to bring them to the table for your family unit, your girlfriend, and you want to provide, contribute.
Emotional comfort, emotional sustainability. And
so you want to provide like security, financially, you want to provide, like the fourth one is communication and emotion. So I think it's important for a man. I think the quintessential new modern man, 2026 and beyond, is a man who is emotionally available, a man who's emotionally fluent, a man who has processed his emotions. And that's the hardest part right now because of different phenomena that are happening in society, like the higher rate of suicide for young men, the loneliness epidemics. So I think the traditional man was not able to express his opinion, not his opinion, but his emotions, and had to be a little bit more tough. And that has had a toll in terms of mental health. So I think the modern man, as the one that's balanced, is a bit more able to express his emotions and to the world, but especially with his partner and then with himself, because it starts with yourself. So that's my perspective.
Sounds like a perfect guy. That doesn't exist. But I hear you. You know, a lot of men could be hearing this and go, yeah, I got to do that, but then I got to do this too because the world is attacking me. The world's kicking my ass. So I got all this stuff. And I often hear women say that, you know, I often hear women say, I want a man to do all of this. And I don't know what you're dealing with over there, but you need to do all of this. And it's just a little challenging because it kind of says I have to be perfect from every angle, which I kind of agree. But I think to get to that place, you know, you have to kind of conquer yourself. I was talking to someone early about mastering myself. And to master myself, for me personally, is sitting with myself long enough to understand the depth of the bad habits, the things that aren't serving the right purpose, to my trauma, you know, that self-healing. And then I take that energy and I better myself and I go out and I venture to become a better version in business or anything. And I've never looked at like a female to be like, all right, a female is a part of that. I always said a female is an added asset. If they want to tag along, that's great. But I'm never going to chase a woman. You know, pursue is different. Pursue is like, hey, my name is such and such. It's nice to meet you. Let's go on a date. Chasing to me is like, what are you doing? It's 5 o'clock. You know, like that's weird to me.
So I think every human has to do the work, right? You talked about the inner work of healing and mastering yourself.
Yeah.
So I think men, women, everybody has to do the work, and that's very personal. I think you talk about something that's very important in relationships is like chasing versus. I'm more of a believer in attracting.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, relationships versus as soon as you get in the energy of chase, then it's the energy of desperation.
Right.
And
when you say attract, are you saying like being or becoming something that attracts that energy towards you?
Exactly. I think mirroring is real.
Okay.
So I think you attract who you are.
Ooh, okay.
So if you're looking, and that's why like the balance, whatever like I created in terms of like I want somebody who's balanced, who communicates, etc. So I have to be that person for that person to show up. And I'm normally going to attract who I am at the moment that I am who I am. And that's encourages you to first love yourself, to like master yourself. It means that heal yourself and and recalibrate all the different elements of yourself, but really love yourself.
Yeah.
And then go after the dreams and make them happen. And then
Yeah.
you're going to attract somebody who's probably at the same level of clarity and energy,
Yeah.
of love. But I do think that you have to love yourself to start with.
As a woman of entrepreneurship, do you think there's like a misunderstanding of masculinity today?
In what sense?
Like you're a woman of power. You've gotten to that league of, you've made it. You've conquered a lot, and you had to go through certain hardship to get to where you are. But what do you think other women think of masculinity? It seems like you understand it because you say,
Yeah.
you do all that hard work and you come home, you just want to take off your shoes.
Yeah.
And you're a woman, but you also respect the masculinity here.
Yeah.
Do you think other women will understand that? And do you think there's a misunderstanding of that?
I think there's all sorts of women. There's all sorts of men.
There's a lot of weird women out there.
I think people have all sorts of perceptions, and the perceptions are coming from how they were brought up and what they're expecting. So it's hard for me to talk about all the women, but some women are expecting something from their man, like that he's gonna maybe provide 100%. And like some of my friends, like the woman doesn't work and she went to MIT, has a very high degree. And then
Who's this?
One of my girlfriends.
Okay.
Right? She's very educated, and they had 2 kids, and she's like, I'm not working anymore. And he's like, well, I want you to work. And she's like, I'm not working. What are you going to do? Her expectation is that he's going to work and then she's going to be the homemaker. I think that's the negotiation that a couple has to go into, maybe before they get married and while they're married, etc. Of like, I think relationships are calibration. So she has a perspective that he should be, but the provider financially, and he has some expectations as well. So I think people have to align their expectation and find someone who has the same expectations, and then they're going to be happy together. But if people have different expectations, then there's a zone of tension that happens.
Do you think like society rewards more masculinity or masculine traits in women instead of feminine traits these days?
I don't know. No. I think being in corporate for all this time, there's a fine dance. They want women leaders. They want them to be
in the corporate world.
In the corporate world, they want women leaders to. I mean, I've been in a lot of rooms, and they want women leaders who are going to be warm and fuzzy. I've heard that.
World?
Yes, you have to be warm. You have to be also agreeable, but not too agreeable. You should never be aggressive, otherwise you're going to be bossy. So it's a very fine dance because you have to be strategic. So women in corporations oftentimes are carrying the heavy weight of expectations of being seen sometimes as nurturing as a mother, but at the same time they have to be authoritative as a CEO and a leader, but not too much. Otherwise they're going to be seen as bossy. So those are all, and it's very, very, and then you want to be serious, but not too serious. So some of the things I've heard is when I was at Google, one of the managing directors said, "Oh, I'm not going to promote her because she doesn't give me a warm and fuzzy feeling."
Oh,
that was for this next senior role, and I was like, okay. I mean,
so they don't want you to be too masculine; they want you to be soft. Still.
The woman they were talking about, they thought she was too. I don't know. I guess it's masculine energy, but she was a bit. They found it too intense.
Too intense, okay.
So, and then there's a mode, they like analytical women who are going to not talk too much, talk at the right moment, bring the data at the right, it's a fine dance, so it's exhausting.
Yeah.
I think it's harder.
I kind of like that though, I don't mind that because I like softness in a woman. I think it's the most feminine thing a woman can bring to the table. When a woman's like, okay, I'll give you an example. One of my exes, she was super sweet. But, I would try to explain to her, like, if I'm the guy, if I'm the president, I need a vice president. And she'd be like, no, I want to be president. I'm like, there's only one president. I need a vice president. And another analogy was like, if I'm over here going hike, you can't be next to me going hike. We can't hike together. Who's catching the ball?
Yeah.
So she didn't understand that I'm here. And I wasn't trying to, I'm like, if someone breaks in the house at 2 a.m., you looking at me, right? You ain't going to get up and do this. Be like, I got this, babe. You ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like understanding that role. And But at the same time, I wanted her to fight for me in a certain sense because she did. She did that naturally. So I understand what you're saying about not too much, not too little. It's a balance, but someone has to self-regulate themselves to understand those principles.
Yeah, I think in this situation, she wanted to be you're the CEO and she wanted to be the co-CEO.
Yeah. It's like, dude, you gotta pick one. Like,
I mean, personally, I'm like, hey, if you want to do the heavy lifting, I'll just chill. I'm fine with that. But in the case of like, if I don't have somebody who's gonna do the heavy lifting, then I gotta lift the rock.
Okay.
Right. So I think it's a question of energies, finding the partner who wants to dance the dance that you want to dance. Like if you're gonna dance tango, there's a certain way to dance tango. In salsa, both of them can't lead. It's gonna be a mess. I'm a salsa dancer.
Okay, that's a good analogy. Okay.
You have to let go. Let go. It's like, and then let go means sometimes if you have a bad partner, you might fall off. Like I have a partner who almost broke my nose, and I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna dance with you again.
Right.
So you have to find the right dance partner.
Okay, and that's important. So do you feel like you said you have a partner and a son? A son?
Yeah.
Are you in the position of being the better half of the breadwinner, would you say, in your field?
So I'm divorced, right?
Okay.
So the reason is because I had to step up to a point that I didn't want to step up more. I wanted to kind of put my feet up as well. Like I didn't want to be always to carry everything in my relationship.
Is that what you were doing before, prior? You're the one taking care of everything?
Yeah. At some point we transitioned and I was taking care of everything. And I was like, I don't want to take care of everything. That was not the deal. I want to chill, right? And I want to do my things that I want to do, which is what I'm doing now. So I'm like, to do that, we need to separate because I don't want a feminine man. Like, I don't want somebody who's just like, keep climbing the ladder. I'll be cheerleading. No. You got to get to work. Get to work too.
Okay.
So that's why you have to find a right dance partner. And that was not the partner for me.
So let me understand it straight. He was more of your cheerleader than anything?
But we both were working, and at some point he stopped working.
Oh, he stopped working?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he was like, no, I'm not.
Keep going, babe.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not,
He didn't want to at all? He didn't feel influence?
What do we know? I think some people find a good place to put their feet up, and they're like, I'm going to put my feet up.
Okay.
And she's going to keep working. But I think in the calculation, he didn't realize that I didn't want to carry everybody on my back. I'm going to carry my son, but I'm not going to carry the whole planet. So yes, I have masculine traits of like, I'm going to go and get. But as soon as I can chill, I'm going to put my feet up and I'm going to chill. And I want an equal partner who's like, who needs to chill as well and he wants to carry it through. If I meet someone and he's like, I'm going to take care of you 100%, I'm like, because I like to have my own.
You wouldn't want that?
I like to have my own. Because I met some men who were like, I don't want you to do anything. I want you to carry children and stuff. And I'm like, what happened to your ex-wife? Oh, when we divorced, I took the car back that I gave her. And I'm like, no.
So you like your independence?
Well, I have to have my own.
Right.
Because you never know what somebody else is going to do. So, and that's career optionality and that's life optionality. I always created my own. So I don't want somebody who says, stop working tomorrow, I'll take care of you. Taking care of me also is expensive. So.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
It's expensive.
So you're not with your partner right now?
No, I have a new partner.
You have a new partner?
Since the divorce, yeah.
And how is this new partner?
He's great.
He's cool? Okay, I was going to say better.
He's great. Energetically, we're very aligned.
Energy?
Yeah.
And looking back on your previous, do you feel in a sense that with this new partner, is it pushing you into your femininity more, or do you still feel the same where you can?
No, I've learned to let go, right? I'm going to give you an example. Like if we go on a date, so you're so used to being the masculine energy.
As a woman?
Yeah. If you're a woman and you're so used to being a masculine energy and always have to take care of everything. So I would go on a date and we decided we're going to go on a picnic on the beach in Manhattan Beach. And then he comes with a picnic kit. And I'm like, well, do we have the glasses for water? Do we have utensils? And it's like, babe, I got everything. And I was like, I couldn't compute in my brain that he would come with, there was nothing missing. And then I realized that I was not a partner. I was actually a mother. I was babying my ex-husband. And that's where and then you're trained. And now I'm just like, I just show up. I just want to show up. I don't want to carry the whole planet on my back.
You just want to be a girl.
Yeah. I'm going on a date. bring the picnic, and then
Picnic.
yeah, the picnic, yeah, as we say in French. So when that's what I like. I like
Okay.
it. I like when I can just chill. I can just show up and just be, because every human has the right to do that too.
Yeah.
So
Do you feel like men are struggling more with purpose and identity now than before?
I think there's a lot of that happening right now, and I know Scott Galloway is talking about it. There's a loss of identity for men, different dynamics, and one of my friends who's a podcaster also talks about it. So men are being told they're supposed to be the provider, but sometimes they're overly taken care of by their moms or their grandmothers.
Mm.
So sometimes they don't finish their studies, right? So you just have to go through enough adversity to finish your studies if that's your path, or to be a business owner, or to be a corporate person. So you have to go through the adversity. And some of the dichotomies that some of the women have, like, are treated differently. You have more expectations. Like I grew up in Canada, so I had to shovel the snow. I had to clean up. I had to cook. I was 10 years old. I was cooking. So I was like already exhausted. But then they say that kids who do a lot of chores grow up to be more resilient in their career. So
Yeah,
now
I did a lot of chores. I had
you
a
did
job.
a lot.
I mean, I'm Jamaican, culturally, we were raised different than these Americans. Not that they're in the room or anything. Go on.
Yeah. So you have to go through a little bit of adversity. And then there's a whole feminine of like a lot of young men who are in their basements who don't know what to do, don't know how to date, don't know what career they want, and haven't learned to express themselves, don't have a community. So it's kind of a big deal right now. So I don't know. Like, I'm not a specialist in that matter, but I think every human needs to find their path. And then women have been told to do so much that they tend to be more educated and have to climb the corporate ladder and carry a lot, even though it's harder for women to be able to be successful in these corporate environments. So it creates a dichotomy where there's like a lot of successful women by default. I'm sure a lot of women would just like to enjoy life, but it's like, I gotta pay the bills, and then
So there has to be a balance. That's all I'm hearing. There's got to be a balance.
Everybody's gonna chip away.
Yeah, and I'm not in a relationship, but I know it takes work on both ends. I've been on the worst end of it. I've been on the good end of it. I ended up in the same place single because there were things I didn't do, but there was also things the person did wrong. And after spending a lot of time with myself, I learned that I got to work on me and invest in me more than anything. And then, if that comes along, I can add to that. Where you said earlier, it's got to be a dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a dance. And like when I started my divorce, I went on a self-love tour. Because a self-love tour.
Is it actually a tour? Or you did that for yourself?
I did it for myself. Oh. I'm not Beyonce. The self-love tour, $1 billion in the
Women
Billboard.
always coming up with this stuff.
No, I did. So what I did, I realized that you attract who you are.
Yeah.
And for some shape and form, at the moment I attracted my ex-husband, was that I didn't love myself enough. For different reasons.
Some trauma there?
Yeah, definitely. So I did all like the self-love tour. I know you're gonna laugh. It was very simple, but first I traveled a lot, and I was a speaker, so I gave conferences in Africa, in Europe, in the US, and Canada. I traveled, I did a lot of selfies, and it's funny because I didn't know how to do a selfie, and then suddenly loving yourself is just seeing yourself.
Yeah.
And just like, and then I did a lot of like gym, steam room, massages, healing through somatic therapy, sound, journaling. So I went through like a whole year. 2024 was like a whole year of like, I'm just going to take care of myself, and especially my inner child.
That's important, man. That's so important.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know, like, because I need to process what happened, what brought me where I am. How did I make the decision that I made? And then you have to go back and figure out who you are, and you have to reconnect with yourself. So
how would you describe your inner child?
I think so. I'm from Haitian parents, and I feel like they called me the perfect child.
Okay.
And it's not good to be the perfect child, because basically I was keeping everything inside.
I see.
And my mom was the biggest breadwinner in the family. So you see the pattern.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she
Okay.
was the biggest breadwinner. She was a nurse and she was working double shifts. I don't know that that's what she really wanted, but when she married my dad, she thought that he had more education, he had coming from a richer family, all that stuff. So there's some generational trauma. I journaled a lot about it because it was the same situation for my ex-husband. He was coming from a more wealthy family, he was even more educated, etc. And then I ended up being the breadwinner. So there's some healing that needs to be done through generations. And that 1 year of self-love tour of like journaling, understanding the patterns, reconnecting with my ancestors as well, helped me understand what are the wounds that I'm carrying that brought me to where I am.
What do you think something that you wish men would understand about women and vice versa?
I think women want to be loved.
You think men want to be loved? In what way, though?
Deeply, like supported, not problem solved. Like sometimes I just call my partner and I'm like, or he calls me and I was like, I was crying. Sorry, I'm busy crying. And it's like, what's going on, right? And then we have a conversation that's, why are you crying right now? So it's very hard for me to know what men need to know about women. But I think everybody wants to connect and be seen and be loved for who they are in all of their imperfections. So I think and sometimes I think when there's a conflict between a man and a woman, because you asked me the question, what does your inner child look like? It's normally a battle of the inner children, right? And that's tough. So maybe we're not having a conversation with each other. Is my inner child that has a lot of wounds is talking to your inner child that has a lot of wounds, and we're not even in the conversation. It's all the lack of healing that's fighting, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's important. Sometimes you need to take a pause and retract and be like, who's talking right now?
Yeah.
It's trauma. It's trauma talking. It's not. It's gonna go nowhere.
And one of my best friends, he has 3 kids now, and I was raised differently because in Jamaica it was more of just like we go to school and if we're late we get an ass whooping. If we do some dumb stuff in class we get a butt whooping, and yeah. And going to the principal's office, if I can remember, the principal's office was more of like, and he was a big son of a gun. He would put us behind the door and he would just lean on it, that bastard. And that was the way I was raised, in a sense of like discipline, and to me it was like structure. And then I would watch his kids get away with stuff. I'm like, bro, you gotta start disciplining these kids. And his wife be like, yeah, but you can't do it like that. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm just used to this. And she was just like, no, you got to do it in a sense of love.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to understand it, because once I started learning about trauma, how, especially at a certain age, whatever you show them, I know from 3 to 7, they absorb everything. So it stays. So in my mind, I was like, discipline, this is the way. Where to her, she could just talk to the child and be like, hey, man, you're messing up. This is not the right thing to do. And it's a different form of discipline.
Yeah.
And, I grew up thinking the one-dimensional way until I saw it as an adult. Like, oh, okay, that makes a difference. And it's a big thing.
I think what you're saying is very important.
Yeah.
Because, like, think about yourself as a child.
Yeah.
Which we just talked about. And I used to be very disciplined with my son, which I'm still disciplined. But what I realized that I fully lacked was presence and love. There were a lot of expectations. A lot. Like, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that, you're supposed to... Like, I was a French rapper when I was younger.
Hold up.
Hold up.
What? You can rap?
Yeah.
You gotta spit something.
No. I had 2 record deals. So
you gotta spit something now. What? Come on. So
I was a French rapper when I was younger. My dream was to become the best best female French rapper in France because Quebec was too small. And one of the lyrics I put in my song was, my mom literally told me, you're supposed to buy me a Jaguar at 25.
You said that?
My mom said
your mom
that.
said that.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
shit.
I realized that I was raised with a lot of expectations, and that was heavy. And I carried it. And I went back. They said your relationship with your child is a relationship with your inner child. And then I thought about my son, and I was like, where is he going? What is he going through right now? And I was like, okay, he's gonna be disciplined in brackets where he's gonna have rules because he's not gonna be like wild. But I just want him to have fun, to be a child, and I want him to feel loved. And I have one single test with my son. If I know that he's feeling loved, he's very direct. The guy is a boss.
Cool.
The guy is a boss.
How old is he?
He's 6.
He's 6 and he's a boss.
Oh, he's a boss. He's a boss. He was 1 and he was a boss already. He was always like that.
He came out like, all right, I'm here.
Yeah.
All right, I want this over here, hot water here.
Yeah. Oh, no. This kid was like, he used to do backflips in my belly at 2 a.m. every single night.
God.
I couldn't, and I had like $1 billion to deliver, and I was like, I think I'm going to die. So basically, my son, if he's happy with me, he's going to wake up in the morning and he's going to draw something. He's not somebody who's like going to give you hugs and stuff. He's like, he's going to draw something. And I know he's happy when he wakes up, he draws like mommy, a heart, and him. And then I know he's happy, or like 1,000,000 hearts. And one morning recently, I almost cried because I knew he knew how to write, but he knew how to write his name. He took a Post-it, this little guy. He took a pink Post-it, he wrote, I love mom. And he stitched it on my mirror, and I like freaked out. First, I didn't know he knew how to write anything other than his name, which is what they practice. And then secondly, he wrote unprompted, I love mom. And I was like, that tells me if I'm a good human, because unconditional love, which doesn't mean like the kid is going to run wild.
Right.
He's going to feel loved no matter what. Not because he does this or he does X and Y and Z.
And that's important to growing up, you know, because as kids, they're going to be viewing a lot of things like social media.
Yeah.
I know that played a very significant part after COVID too. You know, people are stuck in their homes and just watching TV.
Yeah.
You feel like social media have kind of changed masculinity and femininity?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it's kind of like everything is accessible.
Yeah.
So there's
it's
a lack.
too easy, right? Just swipe.
Yeah. There's a lack of depth, right? And then if you live in the shallow world, there's always a cuter person here, a cuter person there. But the reality is it's a lot of highlight reels. Not a lot of people are going to post a picture of like, I was crying yesterday. Except my girlfriend on LinkedIn. She always puts videos of her crying. And I'm like, girl.
Who the Yo, who puts video of them crying? You know what kills me? This is kind of fucked up. The people that recorded themselves crying of their pet, the worst one was seeing a woman hugging a snake.
I don't know, but no black woman is going to go on LinkedIn and put a picture of her crying.
Yeah.
It's like, anyway.
Yeah.
And
a
I'm
snake?
like,
really, bro? Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's fine. So I think it's TLDR, loving my kid. Because imagine if your kid is your inner child. That's the most important thing I can do. That heals my inner child, and that makes sure that he, hopefully, I mean, kids, everybody has to do some healing. Hopefully he feels loved.
You fucking dick. I'm sorry.
He's losing focus.
No, it's fucking guy. Let me get that back. I had a good question. You dick. We had a joke, but why are you gay?
Why are you gay? Oh my God.
Why are you gay? You ever seen that guy? We bring you live from, should I call you Mr. or Mrs.? I gotta show it to you later. Anyways, I had the last good questions to go into. Okay. Damn, this fucking guy. Okay. All right. So, you know, I hear a lot of things that you're saying, and you sound like a woman you've been on both ends. You're in here, you're working hard, but at the end of the day, you wanna take your shoes off. You wanna be a girl, and you know, you said you're with a new person that kind of helps you bask into that femininity. In your terms, what's a healthy balance that you think between a masculine and feminine energy looks like?
I mean, you have to decide with your partner right? So there's some things I don't like to do, like fixing dishwashers, like anything that's physical. And
That's the first thing that came to your mind.
there's a bunch of things. I'm not somebody who's super manual,
hmm
right? So it's like, I don't know. It's like, oh my God, the barbecue's broken. No, it's not. So there's some things I don't like to do
hmm
and I don't want to do. And then it's just a question of like having a healthy conversations of like, what are the boundaries?
hmm
Because, and that's like, it's a dance, right? So
Yeah.
what areas of our life do you want to lead? Which area am I going to lead? And then putting these on paper
hmm
and having a conversation. Because
Just
it's,
communicating, basically.
yeah, communicating, but agreeing as well. I think you need to have some agreements of, and it's fluid, but
Yeah.
you need to have some agreements such that you don't go into, oh, it's been 10 years and it's actually doesn't work.
Yeah.
There's something that we have not discussed. So I think having a good dance partner is figuring out where do I lead and then where do you lead or,
Yeah, that's so important because when I hear you talk about figuring stuff out.
yeah,
And most people got this expectation. Well, a man's supposed, all right, bitch, tell me what I got to do. Like if we can sit there and talk about it and we can work something out,
yeah,
then it's communication. Because I don't know what you really like, but if you tell me, but then some women will feel like, oh, I got to be a mom, or no, it's communicating. And most
yeah,
people aren't really used to that communication. But I love communicating. I think it's very important, especially starting out.
yeah,
I've seen women that are like, all right, I've done all this stuff. I don't want to go down that route again. And if this man ain't bringing this to the table, but you also got to communicate it,
yeah,
vice versa. You got to sit there and talk about it instead
yeah,
of saying, I want this, this, and this. Be like, listen, these are the things that help me navigate through life.
hmm,
I'm curious to see what you have to offer in that sense. And hopefully we can correlate to become better versions of ourselves. But
yeah,
I love the fact that I see someone that balances that attribute. You're a boss lady, and at the same time, you still haven't lost that femininity.
hmm,
I think it's the most beautiful part of a woman, her femininity, and the fact that you can go out there and attack the world and kick ass. You
yeah,
want to come home and take your shoes off and be like, sweetheart, that's beautiful to me because it says you're confident, it
yeah,
says you're ready, it says you're a ride or die, and it says you're still down to be a beautiful wife.
hmm.
So you should start teaching the rest of these women how to do stuff. Um, but Kathleen Jean Pierre, am I
Yeah,
saying it right?
your
Jean
French
Pierre.
has already
I
improved
know
since
I
the
am not
beginning.
Pepe Le Pew. They called me back in the day, right, Scott?
Oh mon Dieu, oh mon Dieu, oh là
Omelette
là,
au fromage. That's all I know.
oh là
Oh la
là.
la.
Where did you
Well,
find this one?
I know. Kathleen Jean Pierre, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate you.
My
Love to have
pleasure.
you back. And of course, stay black.
Stay black.
I can say it to her.
It was so fun. Oh my God.
What's up, guys? I hope you enjoy the show. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.